God says, my child, there are things happening right now that you cannot see with your eyes, but your spirit can already feel them. Something has shifted in the unseen. The person who once came between you and your soulmate, the one who used confusion, manipulation, and illusion, has vanished. Not quietly, not by chance, but by my divine intervention. The third party that once stood as a wall between two destined hearts has been removed. What they built upon lies could not stand under truth. What they tried to control was never theirs to hold. And now, the web they wove has fallen apart, leaving your soulmate standing in the middle of the ruins of their own choices. My child, I need you to understand this: when I remove someone from your path, it is never without purpose. You may not have seen how deep the deception went, how cleverly the darkness disguised itself as love, but I saw it all. I watched how your soulmate's heart was slowly pulled away, how the light within them dimmed under the weight of someone else's false intentions. You prayed, you cried, you waited, and in silence, I moved. Now, the truth is being revealed. Your soulmate is seeing with open eyes what they were once blind to. The illusion has shattered. The person they trusted has shown their true face: selfish, possessive, and empty of real love. The same one who pretended to care about them has now left them in a place of loneliness and confusion. The third party vanished because their purpose in this divine story was over. Do not think of this as revenge, my child. I am not a God of revenge, I am a God of justice and mercy. I allowed this situation to unfold so that your soulmate could finally see what you saw all along: the truth of love, and the truth of deception. They had to lose what was false to recognize what was real. Right now, your soulmate is sitting in silence, feeling the consequences of their choices. The silence they once gave you has returned to them, but this time, it carries weight. Every night, their thoughts return to you. Every sound reminds them of your voice. Every place feels empty without your presence. They realize that in choosing temporary comfort, they lost something eternal. They thought they were walking into happiness, but found only emptiness. They thought they had found someone who understood them, but that person only used them for their own gain. And now, with the third party gone, your soulmate is left staring into the mirror of truth, and it hurts. They are realizing what you meant when you spoke from your heart. They are remembering your patience, your prayers, your compassion. They are remembering the way you never stopped caring, even when they stopped communicating. They now understand that what you offered was not attention, it was pure, divine love. And now that love is haunting them, calling them back to light. My child, I want you to listen closely. The pain you once felt, the sleepless nights, the unanswered questions, the betrayal, none of it was wasted. Every tear you cried planted a seed of change in their soul. You thought your prayers went unheard, but I heard every single one. I collected your tears, and I turned them into lessons for their soul. You asked me to heal them, and I am doing just that, but healing sometimes begins with heartbreak. Your soulmate's heart is breaking now under the weight of realization. They are confessing things to me that they never dared to admit to you. They are saying, God, I was blind. I hurt someone who loved me purely. I believed lies instead of truth. I betrayed what was sacred. Their voice trembles when they speak those words, because they can finally see how their actions hurt you. They remember your face when you felt their silence. They remember the way you tried to understand when they pulled away. They remember how they ignored the voice inside them that said, "This isn't right." And now, that voice has become a storm within them, loud, undeniable, demanding to be heard. They can't run from it anymore. They can't hide behind pride or excuses. The truth is echoing through every part of their being. The third party has vanished, yes, but the damage left behind is forcing them to confront their shadow. They are realizing that what they thought was love was manipulation, and what they thought was stability was control. I am stripping away every illusion so that when they come to you again, they come in truth. My child, you may be wondering, why now? Why after all this time? Because timing is divine. Because I had to let both of you walk separate paths so that your souls could awaken. You learned self-worth. You learned patience. You learned how to love without losing yourself. And they learned the cost of ignoring divine love. Everything that once looked like loss was actually protection. I hid you while they went through their storm. I shielded your heart from deeper wounds. And now that the storm is passing, I am revealing to you that my plan never failed. It was just unfolding in silence. The moment the third party vanished, the energy between you and your soulmate shifted. You may have felt it, a sudden wave of emotion, a sense of peace mixed with sadness. That was their soul reaching out to yours again. It was the moment their heart began to remember. They are thinking of you constantly. They replay your old messages. They read your words and whisper, "I didn't deserve them." They see signs of you everywhere. Your favorite song, your name on a billboard, a scent that reminds them of you. It's not coincidence, it's me speaking through creation, reminding them of what was divine. My child, I am not telling you this to reopen your wounds. I am telling you this so that you understand the depth of my plan. You are not forgotten. You are not a victim. You are chosen. I used your pain to awaken another soul. I used your silence to speak to them in ways your words never could. The confession they are about to make will break you, not because it will hurt you again, but because it will reveal truths you never imagined. Things they hid out of shame, things they feared you would never forgive. But listen, my beloved, this confession will also set both of you free. Before healing, truth must come to light. Before reconciliation, confession must be spoken. They will tell you everything, the manipulation, the control, the lies they believed. And as they speak, you will see the boy or girl inside them who was lost, broken, and scared. And though it will hurt, compassion will rise inside you. Because you will see that my grace has done its work. Do not fear what is coming. Do not close your heart out of pride. I am with you. When they speak, I will hold your heart steady. You will not be destroyed, you will be strengthened. Right now, I need you to rest. Stop overthinking what their confession might be. Stop replaying the past. I am already ahead of you, turning pain into peace. You do not need to chase answers, they are coming to you. You will soon see how everything connects, how the silence led to growth, how the loss led to protection, how the distance led to awakening. What you thought was the end was actually the beginning of transformation. The third party's disappearance is my sign to you. The interference is gone, the block has been removed, and now truth will flow freely. But I want you to promise me this: when truth comes, respond with wisdom, not anger. With discernment, not fear. You are not the same wounded soul who once begged for love. You are my chosen one, standing in divine strength. Soon, their confession will come. It will be heavy. It will be honest. But it will also be the doorway to healing. And when you hear their voice again, trembling with truth, you will understand, I never left either of you. I simply waited for the moment both hearts were ready to return to me. My beloved child, this is not a story of betrayal anymore, it is a story of awakening. The third party has vanished because darkness cannot stand in the presence of divine love. You are about to see justice, healing, and truth unfold all at once. Be still, stay in faith, and let me finish what I started. The truth that once broke you is the same truth that will set you free. My beloved child, when the third party vanished, your soulmate stood alone for the first time in a very long while. All the noise around them was gone. The people who once whispered lies into their ears, the one who made them believe they were loved for their charm and success, they all disappeared like smoke in the wind. It was then, in that heavy silence, that the truth began to echo inside their heart. They sat in a room filled with memories. And for the first time, those memories were not of laughter or pride, but of you. Every word you spoke, every moment of kindness you offered, every tear they made you shed, it all came rushing back like a flood they could no longer hold back. They tried to escape it, but it followed them everywhere. In their dreams, in their quiet moments, in the reflection of their own eyes, they saw you. And, my child, that's when their confession began. It did not happen before people. It did not come through messages or letters. It began within their soul, whispered in the night when no one could hear, except me. I watched as they fell on their knees, not in arrogance this time, but in broken surrender. They whispered your name with trembling lips and said, God, I hurt the only person who truly loved me. I heard every word. Their confession came from a heart that had been shattered by its own choices. They remembered the promises they made to you. Promises of love, of forever, of truth. And then they remembered how they broke every one of them. They realized that the third party they chased was not love, but a reflection of their own confusion. The connection they thought was passion was merely a shadow, it had no depth, no soul, no peace. The day that third person walked away, it was as if a spell had been broken. The illusion they lived under vanished, and the truth stared them in the eyes. They felt the absence of your energy. Your prayers, your warmth, your forgiveness. It was like the sun had set, and darkness had taken over their world. And in that darkness, they called my name for the first time in a long while. They said, God, I cannot live like this anymore. I cannot carry this guilt. I watched as they wept, child. They wept not only for what they lost but for what they became. They saw how far they had drifted from the light. They saw the pain they caused not only to you but to themselves. Every lie they spoke turned into a chain around their own heart. Every time they ignored your love, it became a stone they carried on their soul. And now those chains were breaking, one by one, through their tears. Your soulmate's confession was not just about guilt, it was about awakening. They began to understand that the love they once had with you was sacred. It was not like the fleeting attraction they found elsewhere. It was divine. It was the kind of love that only I could design. One that mirrors forgiveness, patience, and truth. They whispered, "God, I miss them. I miss the peace that lived in their presence. I miss the safety I felt in their heart. I miss the way they prayed for me, even when I did not deserve it." And I listened. I did not punish them, for this pain was already their lesson. Their suffering became their cleansing. The nights they spent in tears became their redemption. Child, you must know. When you loved them, you planted a seed of divine truth inside their soul. It may have taken months, even years, but now that seed has begun to bloom. Their confession is proof that your love was never wasted. It was never a mistake. You were chosen as their mirror, the one who would awaken them when the false world fell apart. But, my dear one, I also see your heart. You hear of their confession, and part of you aches. You wonder, why now? Why after so much pain? Why after everything broke inside me? And I say to you, because now, their confession is real. It comes not from desire or fear of loss but from understanding. They have met their truth, and it has undone them. Yes, their words would break you if you heard them all. If you knew the depth of their sorrow, if you saw how they stare at your old messages, how they whisper your name before sleeping, how they replay your laughter just to remember what hope felt like. Your heart would tremble with both pain and compassion. They confessed to betraying a pure love. They confessed to lying to themselves. They confessed to pretending they were happy when they were dying inside. They confessed that even when they were with someone else, they saw your eyes in their dreams. They confessed that they wanted to reach out, but shame held them back. They confessed that the third party's vanishing was not a loss, it was justice. It was me removing what was never meant to be. And now, their soul is bare before me. They walk in silence, hoping for forgiveness. They are learning what you already learned, that real love is not possession, it is truth. Real love is not control, it is surrender. Real love is not found in excitement, it is found in peace. My child, this confession is not to break you, it is to free you. Because what you don't see is that this truth is your closure. You once waited for them to admit what they did. You once longed for them to feel your pain. Now they do. They feel every ounce of what they once made you feel. And through that pain, their soul is being washed clean. You must not harden your heart, for this is the moment I have prepared both of you for. I am healing you through their confession. I am restoring justice, not through revenge, but through awakening. And soon, you will see. When truth is confessed before me, healing begins on both sides. So, rest your heart now. Do not seek revenge. Do not look back in bitterness. I am already turning what broke you into the very thing that will bless you. Because love, my child, divine love, always ends in redemption. My beloved child, when the third party vanished, it was not by accident. It was divine intervention. I removed what was never meant for your life, and what was never meant for your soulmate's journey. You see, sometimes I must allow chaos to expose what is false, so that my truth can finally take root. For a long time, your soulmate lived under an illusion, a web of manipulation, desire, and lies. The third person in this story was never sent by me. They were drawn by energy that fed off confusion and temptation. They used words that appeared comforting but hid control beneath them. They made your soulmate believe they were chosen, that they were finally understood. But child, understand this, anything that must hide in shadows can never stand in my light. So, I watched. I let time reveal what hearts refused to see. The third party grew distant, the lies began to crumble, and your soulmate began to taste emptiness for the first time. The laughter they once shared turned to silence. The excitement that once burned bright turned into arguments and tears. What they thought was love was just distraction. And when that distraction vanished, they were left face to face with the truth of what they had lost, you. When that person disappeared, it was not punishment, it was mercy. I allowed it because your soulmate could never awaken while holding on to false attachments. That presence had to leave so that healing could begin. The truth had to surface so that the soul could finally breathe again. Do not think I was blind when they hurt you. I saw every tear you cried. I heard every prayer you whispered late at night. You said, God, please show them the truth. Please remove what is not meant for them. And I did, my child. But my timing is always perfect, not early, not late. While you were healing in silence, I was breaking their pride. While you were learning to love yourself again, I was dismantling every illusion around them. Every fake smile, every false word, every plan that wasn't from me, I brought it all down. Because I never wanted you to compete for love. I wanted you to be chosen out of truth, not confusion. And now that the third party is gone, the air around your soulmate is changing. They can finally hear my voice again. The guilt they feel is not punishment, it is awakening. For too long, they lived in denial, trying to fill their emptiness with temporary affection. But that void could never be filled because it was meant only for divine love, the kind that mirrors me. The kind they once felt through you. Child, I know this truth still hurts. You wanted them to realize it sooner. You wanted them to understand your value before they walked away. But sometimes, love's greatest lessons are learned in the valley of regret. I had to take them there, to the lowest point of their soul, so that pride could no longer blind them. When the third party vanished, your soulmate's world went silent. And in that silence, they finally heard your voice again. Not in words, but in memory. They felt your prayers covering them. They saw you in their dreams. They remembered the peace you brought into their life, the way you made them feel seen when no one else could. They realized that while the world was loud, your love was still, patient, and pure. And do you know what that means, my child? It means your love carried divine purpose. You were not just a chapter in their life, you were a mirror of their redemption. Through your love, they encountered me. Through your pain, they found their way back to the truth. So, do not see the third parties vanishing as tragedy. See it as my hand sweeping away everything that polluted the path I wrote for you. See it as cleansing, because where I am taking you, no counterfeit energy can follow. Your soulmate's confession, though painful, is part of this cleansing. They are being purified through truth. When they said, God, I hurt them. I broke something holy, they were acknowledging the divine nature of what you shared. This pain they feel now, it is burning away their ego. It is stripping them of the false self they once lived through. They thought they were strong when they left you, but now they understand that strength was pride. True strength is humility, and that is what I am teaching them. Every sleepless night, every moment of loneliness, every flash of your memory that pierces their heart. It is me shaping them into someone new. You see, my beloved, when I choose souls to meet, it is never random. You and your soulmate share a spiritual contract, a divine bond that cannot be destroyed by human actions. It can be delayed, it can be tested, but it cannot be broken. And every interference I allow only serves to refine it. The third party's presence was a test, not a destiny. Their exit was part of my plan to restore divine order. I am not only healing you, I am healing them too. I am teaching them that love without integrity collapses. I am teaching you that forgiveness is your superpower. I am aligning both hearts with truth, not emotion. Because real love is not about possession, my child. It is about purpose. I know you still feel anger sometimes. You still wonder if justice will be done. And I tell you now, justice is already unfolding, but not through revenge. Through realization. Through divine correction. The pain they are facing now is not punishment. It is purification. I am cleansing their souls so deeply that they will never again choose darkness disguised as love. They are learning, child, what you already know, that peace does not come from passion, but from alignment with me. That love is not found in chaos, but in truth. And when they look at the ruins of their choices, they finally see how sacred your love was. They now understand that what they lost was not just a person, it was grace. Their tears are their prayer now. Their silence is their repentance. And I am listening. But as I heal them, I also lift you higher. Because you passed the hardest test, you loved without hatred, you let go when it was time, and you kept your heart pure even when it bled. That is why I am preparing a season of blessings for you. This chapter of heartbreak will not end in emptiness. It will end in divine fulfillment. The pain that once made you cry will soon make you shine. You will see new doors open. Doors of peace, prosperity, and purpose. You will find that I did not let you lose anyone. I simply removed what could not stay. The third party's disappearance was my act of mercy. Your soulmate's confession was the beginning of their redemption. And your healing, that is the proof of my promise. So, child, hold your head high. You did not lose this battle. You became the reason truth was revealed. You were the light that darkness could not destroy. And soon, what was taken from you will be restored, either through reconciliation or divine replacement, but this time it will come with peace that stays. Trust me, I am not finished with your story yet. The same hand that removed the false will bring forth the real. The same voice that silenced lies will speak truth into your future. And when I do, you will look back and realize, every tear you cried became the water that nourished your destiny. Because when I remove, it's only to replace. When I silence, it's only to prepare. And when I break, it's only to rebuild stronger, purer, and eternal. My precious child, I see that your heart is still trembling, even now. You have felt their absence and their silence, and though part of you has moved forward, another part still wonders what is happening behind the veil, what is unfolding in the unseen realm between you and your soulmate. Listen to me, my child, and let my voice settle the storms that still rise within you. Your soulmate is walking a road of awakening that I myself designed. It is not an easy path. The steps are steep with regret and covered with the dust of their old ways, but they are walking nonetheless, toward truth, toward light, and ultimately, toward peace. When the third party vanished, your soulmate thought they had been abandoned. They thought life was being cruel. But it was never cruelty, it was mercy. I had to take away what blinded them so they could see what was real. For the first time in a long time, they began to see you clearly, not as someone from their past, not as someone they once loved and lost, but as the soul who reflected me. That realization broke them open. They now understand that your love was not ordinary. It was divine, pure, and patient. It carried light where there was darkness, and truth where there was confusion. They now know that every word you spoke in kindness was a whisper from my spirit. Every prayer you made for them reached my throne, and those prayers are the reason they are still standing today. My child, they have confessed their truth to me, the kind of confession that strips pride away completely. They have said, God, I destroyed the only love that was true. I betrayed what was sacred. I lost the one person who saw me when no one else did. And in that confession, I saw their soul tremble. They did not confess to earn sympathy. They confessed because they could no longer carry the weight of what they had done. And that, my child, is how healing begins, not through denial, but through truth. Still, shame has built a wall between you. They want to reach out, to speak, to fall at your feet and say, I was wrong. But each time they try, guilt pulls them back. They are afraid that the damage is too deep, that your heart has moved on, that you no longer want to hear their name. So instead, they talk to me. Every night before they sleep, they whisper prayers into the darkness. They say, God, please tell them I'm sorry. Tell them I didn't understand what I was doing. Tell them I loved them, even when I didn't show it right. Tell them I see it all now. And, child, I hear them. I hear their tears just as I heard yours. I do not compare your pain to theirs, for both wounds are sacred in my sight. I am healing both of you, just in different ways. You heal through release. They heal through realization. You heal through surrender, they heal through truth. There are moments when your soulmate looks at their reflection and hardly recognizes themselves. They have aged in spirit because of the weight of guilt they carry. They wonder how they could have been so blind. They replay memories, the sound of your laughter, the way your eyes softened when you forgave them, the patience in your voice when you pleaded with them to stop hurting both of you. Now, those moments pierce their heart. But do not mistake this as punishment, it is purification. Child, I am burning away their arrogance, pride, and fear. I am dismantling everything false within them so that only what is real can remain. And what is real is love. But before I allow them to step toward you, I am preparing you too. I am softening your heart in places where pain turned to stone. I am removing resentment, layer by layer. I am teaching you to see them not through your wounds, but through wisdom. Because when I allow their path to cross yours again, whether to make peace or to begin anew, I do not want bitterness to speak. I want truth to speak. You once asked me, God, will I ever be able to look at them without pain? And I tell you, yes, that time is near. You will not see them through the lens of heartbreak anymore. You will see them as a soul who stumbled, as someone who needed grace just as you once did. You will not tremble in anger, you will stand in strength. And when they come, you will not beg for answers. You will already have them within you. Because while they were learning to confess, you were learning to let go. While they were facing the truth, you were finding your purpose. And now both of your souls are nearing the same point of peace, the place where divine timing meets divine healing. Do not be surprised, my child, if I allow a sudden encounter. It may not happen the way you imagine. It may come as a message, a call, or even a moment of silence where your spirits meet in prayer. But when it happens, you will feel my presence. There will be calm. There will be no chaos. Because I will not bring them back into your life for confusion. I will only allow what carries peace. They may tremble when they see you again. Their eyes may fill with tears. Their voice may break. They may say, I finally understand what you meant, what you were trying to show me. Do not harden your heart when that moment comes. You can listen without reopening wounds. You can forgive without losing yourself. You can love without returning to pain. That is the beauty of what I am doing in you. I am teaching you how to rise above the past, to love like me, with strength, wisdom, and grace. Because forgiveness does not mean forgetting what happened. It means remembering without bitterness. And forgiveness, my child, is what will unlock your next blessing. Your soulmate's journey of repentance is not separate from your path of purpose. Both are woven together in the story of divine timing. The pain that once separated you is now the bridge that connects your growth. You will look back one day and see how every delay served a purpose. You will realize that the third party's vanishing was the signal that the false season had ended. You will understand that this confession, though it hurts to hear, was the start of freedom, for both of you. I did not allow their downfall to destroy them, I allowed it to wake them. And I did not allow your heartbreak to end you, I allowed it to transform you. So now, as I prepare your hearts to meet again, I need you to trust me. You do not need to chase or worry. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to stay aligned with my peace. If this love is meant to be restored, I will rebuild it in such a way that no darkness can ever touch it again. If it is meant to end, I will close it with such peace that no pain will linger. Either way, child, you will win, because truth always sets my children free. The person who once caused you pain is now learning the language of love through loss. They are realizing that what they broke was sacred. They are finally learning how to love through honesty, not fear. You, on the other hand, have become the testimony of grace. Your endurance has made you unshakable. Your compassion has become your crown. You no longer beg for what is yours, you attract it through your peace. And soon, I will place before you a moment that will show you how much you've grown. You will see your soulmate not as your wound, but as your lesson. You will feel the peace of divine justice in your heart, not the kind that punishes, but the kind that heals. So, rest now, my child. Do not overthink what is coming. Let my plan unfold. You are walking into the part of your story where pain becomes power, where heartbreak turns into holy transformation, where what was meant to destroy you becomes the very reason you rise. Because I am not a God of endings, I am a God of new beginnings. And this story, your story, is far from over. My child, the night is almost over. The storm that once raged between you and the one your heart longed for has finally begun to calm. The confession that once broke you apart has now become the very soil where your healing grows. Every tear you cried watered the ground for something sacred, truth, release, and rebirth. You see, I never allowed you to walk through that pain just to end up shattered. I allowed it so that through breaking, light could enter your soul. When your soulmate fell to their knees and confessed what they had done, the heavens trembled with mercy. Their confession was not meant to destroy you, my child. It was meant to free both of you from the chains that bound your souls for so long. They confessed not only their betrayal, but the darkness that had swallowed their heart when they allowed pride and deception to rule them. For so long, they lived with lies and illusions, thinking they had control. But love built on deceit always collapses, and when it did, they were left with nothing but the truth, and that truth led them back to me. Your soulmate cried out to me, asking for forgiveness not because they wanted to escape punishment, but because they finally understood the depth of the wound they caused. They saw the image of you, the one who loved purely, the one who waited, the one who kept faith even when abandoned. They realized that what they destroyed was not just a relationship, but a sacred bond written by divine hands. Their heart trembled under the weight of that realization, and I saw every tear they shed. At that same moment, I turned my eyes toward you. You were still healing, still carrying the ache of what they did. You felt torn between love and pain, between forgiveness and anger. You wondered why I would allow such sorrow in a soul that only wanted to love deeply. But, my beloved, understand this: healing requires truth. And truth sometimes breaks before it mends. What shattered you was not love, it was illusion. What hurt you was not divine purpose, it was human confusion. Yet even through that, I have been crafting something beautiful for you. The third party's vanishing was not vengeance, it was deliverance. They were removed from your soulmate's life because their season had ended. Every connection that is not born from light eventually dissolves under the weight of my truth. I had to strip away every false tie so that your soulmate could see who they truly are, and what they truly lost. They see now that while others offered temporary comfort, only your soul carried eternal peace. Now, your soulmate walks a road of redemption. They are not the same as before. Their eyes, once blinded by ego, are now open to eternity. Their hands, once reaching for what was never theirs, are now folded in prayer. And their heart, once proud and restless, now beats with longing for the peace they once found in you. But do not let this stir confusion in you, my child. Whether they return to your life or remain only in your prayers, your story has already been redeemed. What matters is not the ending, it is the transformation that has taken place within both of you. You have become stronger, wiser, and purer through this. You have learned that love does not beg, chase, or break itself to be seen. Real love stands still and trusts me. And because you trusted, I am now blessing you with peace that surpasses understanding. The wound that once defined you will soon be your testimony. You will no longer speak from pain, but from power. You will no longer love from fear, but from freedom. In the silence of this night, I whisper this truth: you were never forsaken. I was there in every tear, every sleepless night, every unanswered question. I was there when you held on even when everything seemed lost. And now, I am here to tell you that the cycle of suffering has ended. What broke you is no longer your story. It was just the doorway to your destiny. Your soulmate's confession was necessary, not because you needed their apology to heal, but because your soul needed to be released from unspoken truths. Now the energy that once chained your hearts has dissolved. You are both free, free to love purely, free to walk your path without the shadow of guilt or betrayal. If your paths are meant to meet again, they will meet not in pain, but in divine timing, when both hearts are ready to honor love in its highest form. I am proud of you, my child. You endured what others would have collapsed under. You loved when it was hard, you prayed when it was dark, and you forgave even when it felt impossible. That is why your future will overflow with blessings. I am restoring everything you lost: your peace, your joy, your faith in love. Soon, you will see how every loss was secretly a redirection. Every no was protection. Every tear was a seed. Do not look back in sorrow anymore. Look forward in faith. The pain you endured is not your identity, it is your initiation into a higher realm of love. The chapter that once caused you sleepless nights is closing tonight, and a new one is being written, one filled with miracles, serenity, and divine companionship. And as for your soulmate, I am working in their heart. They will carry the memory of your love as the reminder of what truth feels like. Whether they find their way back to you or not, they will never forget the light you brought into their life. You were their divine mirror, showing them what unconditional love truly means. My child, release the burden now. Take a deep breath and let go. The confession that broke you has fulfilled its purpose. The third party is gone, the lies are gone, the old story is gone. What remains is truth. And truth never leaves you empty-handed. You will rise from this with grace, and your next chapter will not be written in pain but in divine alignment. Soon, love will come again, whether through the one who returns transformed or through a new soul sent by my hand. Either way, this time it will be different. This time it will not hurt. This time it will be pure. Because you have learned what love is meant to be, sacred, steady, and true. Now rest, my beloved. You have carried enough. The storm is over. The lessons are complete. And the light of your new beginning is already shining ahead of you. I bless you with peace that will never leave you, healing that will never fade, and love that will never betray you again. Go in peace, my child. Your story has been rewritten by heaven's hand, from pain to purpose, from sorrow to strength, from heartbreak to holy restoration.